right now and sign up while you're thinking about it. That's splashofai.com. It's totally free. AI is changing everything and anything you know, and I want to make sure that you're ready for all the changes, and my free newsletter will help you out. Splashofai.com is how you sign up. Splashofai.com.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Well, hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talkback here on your Wednesday morning. I'm Al Quartermont, joined by Stephen Maxwell this morning on another very beautiful morning. Not much rain in the forecast these days, but it is what it is. Stephen, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
How much? What are you up to?
Trying to edit some videos from yesterday and talk on the radio.
There you go.
What's been going on? How was your day off?
Day off?
Yeah.
You mean
From
just
here?
From here. Busy. We had a really busy day on campus yesterday, and then it was culminated by Frank Turek appearing at 7 o'clock last night at Gwynn Auditorium. It was really a pretty fascinating presentation, and then he took questions for about an hour, so we didn't get out of there till about 10 after 10.
Dang.
Yeah, I know.
I was thinking about going, but I was afraid of that.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, it was great because after his presentation, he took questions from the audience and probably gave the students, well, it was over an hour of time. And then after that, even he came down to the front and they had a little table set up and he was signing copies of his books and just talking with students. And I'm sure he was there another half hour or so, but I didn't stick around.
What was the presentation on?
It was basically based on his book, I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. So he talked about kind of the 4 ways that we can know that God exists. So it was good. Yeah, it was really good.
Because we all know him. I know him because of the debates that he does online, or you see the clips of him.
Yeah.
Or just like question and answer stuff.
Sure. And if you kind of go back to when Charlie Kirk would do his campus events, Tell Me Where I'm Wrong, I think a lot of what Charlie got was based on what Frank Turek does as well. So the presentation surrounded around 4 questions. Does truth exist? Does God exist? Are miracles possible? And then lastly, is the New Testament reliable? So he kind of went point by point, probably took about half hour for each one, I would say.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
I'm sure what could have gone.
I think you would have benefited from it. However, since you didn't get a chance to see it, you still follow our Wildcats Media Facebook page?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm about to post it too. It's not as good as yours, probably.
What's that?
I'm about to post video. We had Nathan there. He shot it for me.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't post it at 11 last night.
Yeah, I posted the video to our Wildcats Media Facebook page. The link to the video on our LCU YouTube. Jeff Young and his crew did a good job of recording it, so you can go back and watch the whole thing.
Oh, nice.
Let me see how long it lasted. Hold up. Yeah, it's 2 hours and 48 minutes.
You want to say Nathan is a good videographer.
Is he?
Yeah, should have won a journal. But
Good.
he does have like that media background.
Right. Yeah. So, but I'll play some clips coming up a little bit later on this hour because there were a couple of moments I thought were really kind of key and that our audience would appreciate as well.
Are there any atheists that ask questions? Agnostics or seemingly?
Not last night, no.
Oh,
no.
okay.
But yeah, I'm sure you can find plenty of videos of that with him.
I was just curious.
I think one of his most effective techniques that if you listen to him in terms of being an apologist, which means basically a defender of the faith, is just asking questions, So when someone says to you, for example, there's no such thing as truth, your first question should be, well, if that's true, then isn't your statement truth?
Mm-hmm. Answering your question with a question.
Yeah. And you can kind of get people to go in circles a little bit, to at least kind of bring them to a point of thinking through the propositions that they're making, which I think is a really cool way of doing it. You know, in some ways, it's like consuming water with a fire hose when you go to his thing, because there's so many good things that he says, and you're trying to remember them all. So I'll probably go back and watch that again at some point.
Isn't he's a former Catholic turned Protestant, right?
That I'm not sure of. You may
believe
be
so.
correct. You may be correct.
I think he argues about that too.
Really? Okay. Because I know there was one young man that asked him a question yesterday, and he actually is somebody who was more Protestant who's become Catholic. And
Yeah, he's Roman Catholic turned evangelical.
okay, it makes sense. He grew up in New Jersey, so
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd love to. I might watch it.
yeah, no, it was good, and especially the questions at the end were really good as well.
Good.
Yeah, so
What was the best question? What can you remember?
Oh, what was the best question?
Like the most, not heated, but like engaging topic of a question that was asked. I'm just curious what they were asking. Like, what was their thought process?
Yeah. I'd have to think about it for a moment.
You slept.
I know one young lady asked him about reading old books, like older authors, and he responded pretty favorably to that.
Reading older authors?
Yeah, like there's this thing, and I'm seeing it more with young people that read books written by dead people. Have you heard that?
I haven't heard that.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
like
all
the
time.
classics.
Yeah, those are the best.
Yeah, and trying to rediscover literature. And he said there's basically two ways you can learn in life. You either experience things, learn through experiencing things, which nobody has the time to experience everything, or you can learn about it by reading about it. So that's why he highly recommends reading.
They are the most powerful tool.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, that's a good thing. Read the dead authors. Right?
Yeah.
Especially the namesake of our latest coffee shop, Ernest Hemingway.
You're a Hemingway fan.
I love Hemingway.
Yeah. One of the great journalists of all time.
Yeah. He liked himself a lot too. So.
Kind of reminds us of someone else we know these days.
Everybody on planet Earth almost. So,
That's true. That's true.
But another classic I read about a year ago, which I remember almost like every other day, is Grapes of Wrath. I don't know why. I love that one. John Steinbeck.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good ones. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know that was a movement. That warms my heart.
I remember when I was a kid and then first read Grapes of Wrath, or maybe it was I saw the movie, I was like, wait, there was a Bugs Bunny cartoon like this. Did you ever see it?
No.
There's a Bugs with George.
I didn't see that one. So they didn't argue about like dispensationalism or the merits of Calvinism or anything? Nothing crazy theological like that? I'd like to
Not
hear
Calvinism, no. That didn't come up. There weren't a lot of, I would say the questions, trying to think theologically what they were. Well, one of them I thought was a pretty good question, was asking about whether the death penalty is something that God has sanctioned for government to use. That's actually one of the clips that I'll play for you.
Oh, cool.
Come up a
I
little
want to
bit.
hear that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, a lot of, I thought, thoughtful questions from the students who were there. Like I said, I need to think. I probably should have written it down as they were asking.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Trust me, I understand how it is. I'll leave a shoot. I'm like, I have no idea what I just heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's good. I'm glad he came, and you never know. Some of those clips might go viral if there was a good clip in there.
Right.
So.
Right, exactly. Shoot, now I'm trying to find the video. All right, I sent the time for the videos that I got, but oh wait, here we go.
I got some clips too from Nathan if we need to do that later.
Okay. But anyway, hey, coming up at 8:05, we'll also be talking with Allie Nolan and Warren Morse from the Bolton High School Alumni Association. They have their big Hall of Fame induction ceremony coming up in a few weeks, and they'll have 6 inductees that are going in, some very recognizable names, including Ned Randolph, the former mayor of Alexandria, and Lynn Rollins, play-by-play guy for LSU Sports, local guy as well, and some other notable figures. So that'll be pretty cool. So they'll tell us more about that, how you can get tickets and all of those sorts of things.
Wonder if he'll make the Wogaskoka Hall of Fame, Al.
Make the what?
I don't know. I just made up your school name.
Oh, okay.
What was the name of your school?
My high school?
Yeah.
Cudahy High School.
Oh. Not Wogashoka?
No. Are you trying to say Waukesha?
I don't know. It sounds like a very made-up Wisconsin name.
Yeah, I remember when LSU played at Wisconsin back at Lambeau Field. What year was that? Because Leonard Fournette was still on LSU at the time. I want to say, is that 2018, somewhere around there? But they were doing a thing where they were having Wisconsin football players try to pronounce Louisiana city names, and then LSU players try to pronounce Wisconsin city names.
Those are the two hardest.
They are. They were two of the hardest.
That's why you're a professional broadcaster, because you can handle all the weird names because of your background.
I don't know.
Like, you know how to say Rogoli and Waukesha.
That's true.
My favorite is we have a new anchor come to the local TV station, and we'd always wait till Rogoli showed up on the teleprompter, and they would
Rigolette.
not be prepared for that. I wasn't either.
Yeah. The ones I felt sorry for were the new weather people, because, I mean, really, how are you supposed to know?
You should have been studying for 6 months before you got here.
I guess so.
I still hear people say Glenmore differently.
Glenmore?
Some people say Glenmore.
Okay.
I grew up saying Glenmore.
What did I hear? I heard a story on the news the other day. Oh, maybe it was from the parade. That parade where you had the guy that drove into the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like down in Lafayette. And I'm like,
no, you got to get that one right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get that one right.
But the national news will always pronounce wrong Louisiana name.
Well, I messed up because there's a Lafayette in our DMA when I was in Shreveport.
Mm-hmm.
It was Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
I think. No, it was a county.
Okay.
Up in Arkansas or something.
Lafayette County.
It was Lafayette, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got that wrong. I said Lafayette County. So, there's a couple of tough ones over there.
Yeah. Kind of like we would say, you'd think it's the Arkansas River, but it's the Arkansas River.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or the Nevada County.
Because I remember when Les Miles once called him Arkansas and everyone made fun of him. I'm like, well, he was in Oklahoma for a long time, and he probably was thinking of the Arkansas River.
I'm not going to make fun of him, because I remember as a kid, we were driving for a family vacation. I got made fun of for a long time after I called it Arkansas when I saw the sign.
Yeah, but you were a little kid.
Well, I mean, Les Miles. He's a kid at heart. So.
Yeah, I guess so. But, yeah.
I was like, 17-year-old kid or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some names you just, like LeCount. There's no way you get LeCount out of Howard.
I still hear people who are from here say LeCount.
Yeah.
They just don't. I guess they don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
All right. Well, we need to take a break. When we come back, I'll play a couple of clips from last night's event, and we'll do that as we continue here on Talkback.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Stock futures all strong after a 2-week ceasefire deal between the U.S. and Iran. A relief rally is sweeping through global markets, lifting stocks and sparking the biggest drop in oil prices in almost 6 years. Delta is predicting it'll cost $2 billion to pay for fuel in its planes through at least June due to the Iran war. The carrier is sticking to its previous full-year profit forecast due to uncertainty. It joined other airlines just yesterday in raising bag fees too to help offset rising costs. American Girl is this week bringing back its original character dolls to celebrate its 40th anniversary. The original collection includes dolls Josephina, Kristen, Addie, Samantha, Molly, and Felicity. Each doll retails for $175 and includes her signature outfit, a book, and packaging inspired by the original design. American Girl dates back to 1986. And Buffalo Wild Wings brings back bottomless apps for $9.99. Matt Piper, Bloomberg Radio.
What's happening at your library this spring? Everything. At Rapides Parish Library, there's something for everyone. We have book clubs, classes, and fun for all ages, all free. Adults, check out our painting classes, gardening workshops, and enjoy a live cooking demo. Kids, you can make slime, learn to draw cartoons, and more hands-on fun. Whatever your age or interest, we've got you covered. Visit your RPL library this spring. We promise you'll find something for you.
Well, if you're hoping for rain, it's going to be a while. Good morning. Our forecast calling for a mixture of sunshine and clouds today. It's going to be nice. 82 for the afternoon high. An east-southeast breeze at about 5 to 10 today. Tonight, clear skies down to 56. And then for Thursday, again, mixture of sunshine and clouds. Afternoon highs 81. No rain in the forecast as of right now until well into next week. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talk Back, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we're back with you, Alan Stephen, here on your Wednesday morning. Thanks for being with us on Talkback. So we were talking about last night, Frank Turek, the Christian apologist, appeared at Louisiana Christian University, spoke for a couple of hours, then took questions for like another hour from students. And I wanted to play some of what he had to say there. When he came to the end of his presentation, before he got to the questions, he addressed kind of a question that sometimes people ask, even like on this show. We sometimes have this discussion a little bit when it comes to mixing Christianity with politics. Like, what's the line there? What level of involvement should Christians have? Because I do see, especially like among young people, kind of an aversion now to anything political. It's like, I just want to be focused on the gospel. I just want to be focused on my Christian faith. Politics, that's someone else's arena. And I thought he gave a pretty interesting answer to that question. So let's listen to that. It's a little bit of a lengthy clip, then we'll come back and talk about it.
And one last thing, I know there may be people in here that maybe didn't follow Charlie very much, or maybe you heard some rumors about some things that he said, and you said, yeah, I know Charlie shouldn't have been murdered, but he wasn't my cup of tea. In fact, he was too political for me. Can I just ask you a couple questions? First of all, what is this?
So he's showing a map of North Korea versus South Korea. Right.
What is this? This is a satellite imagery of the Korean Peninsula. Here's South Korea, filled with light and productivity. We fought a war over that. That's the 38th parallel. This is North Korea. As you can see, there's only a little bit of light coming from their capital. South Korea has freedom. North Korea does not. North Korea is a concentration camp. There's one major reason for the difference between South and North Korea. What's the reason? No, it's not even Christianity. What is it? What? Broader than that. Politics. South has political freedom. The North does not. Let me ask you a question. Which country would you rather live in? If I hear another Christian saying, all I do is preach the gospel, I don't get involved in politics, I think I'm going to scream. Because politics affects your ability to preach and live the gospel. If you don't think so, why don't you go start your little mega church in North Korea? How well are you going to do there? You can go to some of the countries I've been to. I've been to Iran. There's no First Baptist Church of Tehran. I've been to Saudi Arabia. There's no Calvary Chapel of Mecca. We just got back from Egypt. If you want to start a church in Egypt, the government's going to give you trouble. Why? Because politically, they don't want you there. If for no other reason you ought to be involved politically, is because you've got to keep your ability to preach and live the gospel. Secondly, if we're going to love people, we need to put laws in place to protect them from evil. Do you think Christians, let me ask you this question, do you think Christians should have politically got engaged to abolish slavery? What do you think? Of course! Welcome to politics, ladies and gentlemen. You can't avoid it. You shouldn't avoid it. Now, it's not our most important duty, as Charlie himself said, but politics help us achieve our most important duty. and that is to preach and live the gospel and love our neighbors. By the way, I went to Iran 20 years ago. Noah's Ark expedition. Don't have time to tell you all the details. But just to give you a little perspective, this is a building in Tehran. Down with the USA. We have skulls for the crosses or for the stars, and we have bombs falling. For those of you that are old enough, you may remember that in 1979, after the Ayatollah took over at the invitation of Jimmy Carter, they stormed the United States Embassy, took all of the people in that embassy as hostages, and kept them as hostages until January 20th, 1981, when Ronald Reagan was sworn in for his first term. So when we were over there in 2006, we asked our tour guide, hey, can we go see the embassy, where the embassy was? Yeah, just don't take any pictures. I can neither confirm nor deny
There's a picture of him
that we took
standing
any
in front.
pictures, but if you zoom in on that, that's the United States seal. This is the embassy that, as you can see, they took over and they etched out our seal. On the wall of the embassy off my left elbow, you see this. And on another wall of that embassy, you see this: we will make America face a severe defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, whether or not you agree with what's going on in Iran right now, what you can't disagree with is that politics affects human lives. The best evidence we have now is that the government of Iran murdered somewhere between 30 and 45,000 of their own people in the past few weeks. Which country would you rather live in? Why has every president over the past 47 years said, we can't let these people get a nuke? Do you know why? Sharia Islam, some people in Sharia Islam believe they can bring the 12th Imam in by starting a world war. And that includes maybe nuking Israel. It also includes the fact that they have missiles that have a lot longer range than we thought they had. They try and sent one to Diego Garcia, 2,500 miles away. We knocked that missile down, but all of Europe could be nuked, or most of it, 2,500 miles from Tehran. We take it for granted in America that we have religious freedom. It's not that way around the world, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, some of the men you see standing up here have all served their country. There are men back there who are part of the police force. Do you know you would not have the freedoms that you have here in America if these men didn't exist, if they didn't do what they were supposed to do? Do you know the ground floor of any civilization, vocationally, is law enforcement? If you don't have law enforcement, you don't have freedoms protected, which means you don't have an economy, not a stable one anyway, because nobody's going to risk their capital if somebody can just steal it from them without consequence. So if you want to protest something, realize you only have that right to protest because these men exist. You don't have that right in Iran. You don't have that right in North Korea. You don't have that right in Saudi Arabia. You don't have that right in Gaza. You have that right in Israel. Now, if you want to go further in this, I did bring some books. And I want to...
All right. So again, that you are listening to a clip from last night's event at Louisiana Christian University featuring Dr. Frank Turek from Cross-Examined. And I just thought that was really powerful, what he had to say.
That was good. And we're all like debating, you know, why we're at war with Iran. But I remember for years, and it's like they had like a daily event in Iran's government where they'd say death to America.
Oh, yeah.
We're waiting for them to get nukes. Like that's something that's
and
commonly
we gave
talked
them
about.
money to help them.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
And I think it's insane. By the way, I know Nathan mentions a lot of times the Wright report, Brian D. Wright. I listened to his show this morning, and I'd really recommend his show today. He really kind of gets into more of the details behind why we went to war with Iran. He addresses the issue of how much Israel was involved in that decision, not nearly what people think. In fact, he talks about how they came and met with our officials at one point and talked about why we should. And basically our intelligence community was like, okay, they're really dumb on this issue. But then when Trump looked at some of the issues himself, he had basically three reasons why he wanted to. One was his own dislike of the Iranian government dating back to the late 70s. But the biggest one is, as I've been saying, China.
Well, yeah, that's what a lot of this is about.
Absolutely.
Venezuela's
100%. 100%.
Because while they've been, is this a bad thing to say? While we have been maybe declining some, someone might say that. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
They seem to be going the opposite direction, at least from their propaganda.
Using our money.
Yes.
So, yes, when you hear Trump say, we've been getting ripped off, we've been stupid, he's 100% right. And I know people don't like him, and they don't like a lot of his tactics. They didn't like him saying that, if they don't agree to this agreement, we're going to destroy their bridges and their power grids and all that stuff. But
I don't know if saying wipe out a whole civilization is the right thing to say.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Right. Yeah. And someone did ask him, as a Christian supporting someone like Trump, and he gave a good answer, which is, when you look at the two candidates the last time, which one's policies are you going to vote for? And he's like, I don't like a lot of things that he says or does, but the policies are good. And, he's like, well, she'd rather vote for Kamala Harris for the policies that she had. Obviously, that's not really an option. And he's like, I wish it wasn't always just two options, but in this case, it was. So anyway, we need to take a quick break. We'll come back with more.
KSYL. This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter. At the clinics, your health is our priority. Whether it's a routine checkup or ongoing care, we are
if her father is Iranian or if her mother is Iranian, but one of her parents is an Iranian. And she was a main advisor to Mr. Obama when that plane full of cash went to Tehran.
That is true. You are 100% right. Yeah, she was actually born in Iran because her father was a doctor running a hospital there, and spent her first 5 years before the family moved to London and eventually Chicago.
Okay, well, then she may not be part Iranian, but in any event, that's one of the main advisors to Mr. Obama. And I would certainly suggest that people who are apologists for Mr. Obama read I don't remember the book was Dreams of My Father or Dreams from My Father, but it was one of Mr. Obama's autobiographies. And if you ever wondered about his sympathy for Muslims, I would suggest that that's a book that people ought to read.
Yeah, I have not read it myself. I've heard about it, but that and I think communist too, correct?
Well, he definitely didn't like Churchill.
Right.
But in any event, I don't really recall him being all that sympathetic to communists. I think it was much more oriented toward Muslims, or toward, not to Muslims specifically, but to the Muslim religion.
Gotcha.
But anyway, the reason I was calling in is last week there was a discussion about feeding birds. And somebody called in after I was talking and said that the neighbor had been putting out all kinds of bird feed, but he finally had to stop because of the rats and mice. And the solution to rats and mice is you don't put out any more food than the birds and presumably the squirrels and maybe rabbits will eat during the day. So there's nothing for the nocturnal creatures to come out and eat. And they're just not really going to show up in any decent numbers if there's nothing to eat.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
And if you live where I lived, if you don't take your feeders in, Mr. Raccoon will destroy them.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, by the way, if your radio's not working, I don't know if you have do you have a smartphone or no?
Yeah, well, I don't know how to, I don't have my connection to my app. You have to have some kind of code to use the App Store.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, or to download.
And I can't find it.
Okay. Well, you can always reset it. So.
Well, I guess that's a possibility too, but you got to remember I'm a Methuselah.
No, I understand. Technology can sometimes be a challenging thing, for sure.
But anyway, it was kind of an interesting, just call in and listen to that guy's speech.
Sure. All right. Well, thank you so much for the call. We do need to take a break. More coming up.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply, with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service.
Louisiana forests once fueled our economy. Your granddad logged these woods. So did your dad. And now, Beaver Lake Renewable Energy is keeping that legacy alive, turning thinnings and wood byproducts into clean fuel right here in Pineville. It means more jobs, stronger forests, and a future that honors where Central Louisiana came from. Be part of Louisiana's next chapter. Visit beaverlakerenewable.com and find out how we're putting Central Louisiana back on the map.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
I start every workday morning off the same way. I stop in and pick up breakfast at Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express. It's convenient, quick, and oh so good. Croissants, biscuits, breakfast subs, and their hot coffee is the perfect pick-me-up. They always ask me why I'm in such a good mood when I get to work. Improve your mood. Stop by Wilmore's any weekday morning from 6 till 9 and get your day started right. That's Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express right there on the corner of North MacArthur Drive and Bayou Rapides Road.
Now back to Talkback. 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, Alan Stephen back with you on Wednesday again, coming up at 8:05. Allie Nolan and Warren Morse will be here from the Bolton Alumni Association to talk about this year's Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Going back to last night, Frank Turek speaking at Louisiana Christian University. And one of the students asked him about the death penalty, what his thoughts were on the death penalty and whether governments should use the death penalty. He responded with an emphatic yes, and then this is why.
It was true in the Old Testament. It's even true in the New Testament. Jesus is told by Pilate, don't you know that I have the authority to kill you? Jesus doesn't say, no, you don't. He says, yes, you do. But you get that authority from above. Paul amplifies that in Romans 13 when he says, the ruler does not bear the sword for nothing. That reference to the sword is a reference to capital punishment, that governments have the right to mete out capital punishment to wrongdoers. In fact, that's the purpose of government, to protect innocent people from evil and punish wrongdoers. That's the whole purpose. That's why God set up government. And James Madison pithily said, if men were angels, no government would be necessary. Think about that. If we were angels, would we need a government? No, the only reason we do need a government is because we're not angels, that we're bent toward evil. It's easy to be bad, it's hard to be good. So yes, we do have the right to execute people for capital crimes. And if Tyler Robinson is the real killer, and all the evidence at this point points to the fact that he is, I hope he accepts Christ and then he's executed. Because that's what he deserves. And so we'll see. I know it sounds crazy, but the trial for Charlie Kirk does not begin until February of 2027. The pretrial hearing is supposed to be in May. And all of these salacious conspiracy theories you've heard about, let me make one observation here. Do you know that Jesus and the apostles called Satan a murderer, slanderer, accuser, and liar who seeks to kill, steal, and destroy? Notice what we had on 9/10. We had a murder. What have we had since then? Lies, accusations, and slander that seek to kill, steal, and destroy. People don't believe in the demonic? How could it be more obvious? Yeah, I'm talking about you, Candace Owens. You don't have evidence. You're slandering a widow. Do you know what the Old Testament says about this? Exodus 22:22 says, if you abuse a widow or the fatherless, God says, I will hunt you down and strike you down with the sword. Deuteronomy 19 says, if you falsely accuse somebody of a crime and you're found out, you get the penalty of that crime. So you falsely accuse someone of murder and you're found out, you're the one that's executed. Gee, that would shut the whole internet down if we had that law here, wouldn't it? For those of you out there who are feeding this by watching it and gossiping about it, shame on you. We should be taking care of widows, not running them down. Erica Kirk is innocent. I'm so tired of this.
So obviously that struck a chord.
Yeah, it's been some wild stuff by internet commentators lately about this, and I guess like former friends turned foe now.
Yeah.
There's also like a lot of hoopla, and I think rightfully so. There's a comedian called Drewski, pretty famous.
Yeah.
And he did like this whole skit where he like
dressed up
put on
like her,
white, I guess
white
can
face.
you call it whiteface? I don't know.
Yeah.
And was just kind of directly criticizing Erica Kirk and kind of making jokes about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not directly. It was related to the death, of course, but it's just like, why? Like, you went through all that trouble to make that for what?
Right.
Like, her husband was shot in front of the world.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree with him politically, I just don't understand. And I'm like, let comedians live and thrive, but that's just...
Yeah.
So he just died.
Yeah. I mean, imagine another scenario. Let's say, God forbid, Michelle Obama was taken out by or Barack Obama was taken out by somebody, and then Michelle Obama was appearing, and then some white guy put on blackface and made fun of her. There would be so much outrage. But Drewski does, it's okay. No, it's not okay.
No.
Not okay at all.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, I mean, unfortunately, that's the other side of free speech and even comedy/parody, is that we have the freedom to do things, but that doesn't necessarily mean we should.
Yes. Freedom for consequences.
Yeah. But anyway, he was obviously that really struck a chord with him, and Charlie Kirk was his friend. By the way, Frank Turek was there. He was about 20 feet away when Kirk was shot. He also rode with him as he was passing away in the back of the vehicle. So, yeah, it's a little raw for him, as you could imagine it would be, because they were very close. He was one of Charlie Kirk's mentors. So.
I just can't imagine, though, like going back to his, should we get involved in politics? Christians, of course you should. Like, you see it all the time. Should you use your religion falsely to propagate your political position? No.
Yeah.
That's what I think a lot of people are sick of.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, much more coming up in hour number 2. We'll tell you about the Bolton High School Hall of Fame ceremony, which is coming up in a few weeks. And we'll continue with much more conversation on the other side of Talkback here on a Wednesday.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is explaining what would have happened without the U.S. and Iran's newly agreed to 2-week ceasefire.
Had Iran refused our terms, the next targets would have been their power plants, their bridges, and oil and energy infrastructure. Targets they could not defend.
The deal's top goal, reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Correspondent Nancy Cordes is at the White House.
Now that a ceasefire is in place, we move to the hard part, hammering out a long-term peace agreement that addresses Iran's nuclear plans, its funding of terrorism, and so on. And Iran has its own demands, including a new $2 million fee for ships to pass through the strait.
Energy and futures markets are responding to the ceasefire. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
If the ceasefire does not hold, all of this could turn around in moments. But for now, investors are very satisfied with the ceasefire. Oil prices at around $95 a barrel.
Dow futures are up more than 1,200. Gas prices in the U.S. still climbing. The national average today is $4.16 a gallon. The Trump administration is keeping former DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's jet.
Noem leased the $70 million plane, which features a kitchen, showers, 4 large TVs, a bar, and a queen-size bed. Noem was asked about the plane during her testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee last month.
Department of Homeland Security to have a plane.
Luxury jet with a bedroom in it?
Yeah, we used a 737. I've been on it once, but
The Wall Street Journal has learned the White House has taken the plane away from the Department of Homeland Security. It will now be used by cabinet secretaries and the First Lady. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Her nickname's the Ketamine Queen. The one who sold actor Matthew Perry the drugs that killed him is set for sentencing in L.A. today. Former federal prosecutor Lori Levinson.
Prosecutors want to make an example out of her. This is a dangerous practice. And the prosecution wants to send a message that providing ketamine can lead to deaths, as it did in Matthew Perry's case and another victim as well.
Tapped out on tipping? Pop Menu's new survey finds a lot of us are. The tech company's Jennifer Grass.
The areas impacted by tipping fatigue the most, where consumers say that they're cutting back, are restaurants, grocery delivery, hotels, ride services, hair salons, and barbers. but it's really across the board.
78% say the number of places with tipping prompts has become ridiculous. 44% say they're tipping less this year than last. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here? How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents. So when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
British scientists say they've come up with bread that's less carcinogenic when you warm it up.
Is anything more comforting than toast? Unfortunately, wheat contains an amino acid which, when baked, fried, or toasted, converts into a toxic compound which scientists consider a probable carcinogen. But now, British researchers say they've developed a gene-edited wheat containing far lower concentrations of that problem amino acid. In other words, they have bred a better bread. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
The Artemis astronauts prepped for their menu before they took off for the moon.
The neat thing about the food selection is it is so diverse.
What Christina Cook wasn't expecting was a viral food moment. Nutella has seized on a shot from the spacecraft that captured a jar of its chocolate hazelnut spread flying through the air. The brands posted the clip to X with the tag, Nutella is out of this world. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Jeff Palermo. Bills designed to attract aerospace companies to Louisiana are heading to the House floor. The legislation would provide property and sales tax breaks to companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin, who make and launch rockets. The governor's chief of staff, Julie Emerson, testified in favor of the bill.
Louisiana is trying to remain competitive with neighboring states and provide a welcoming environment to a new industry that is increasingly growing, and we would like for it to grow its footprint here in Louisiana.
Secretary of State Nancy Landry says they've seen a big increase this year in the number of registered voters who have been put on their inactive voting list. Landry says you get on this list by not voting for 10 years and not responding to an address confirmation card sent in the mail.
Get an address confirmation card in the mail, return it, and let us know that you do live there, because that's how we keep our voter rolls clean.
There are 455,000 people listed as inactive voters, but they can still vote in the upcoming primaries. They will have to show proof of where they live when they show up to the voting booth. LRN. Artemis 2 is making its return to Earth after a successful trip around the moon. The Orion spacecraft, which was assembled at the Michoud Assembly Facility in New Orleans, has shown it can safely carry a human crew deep into space. LSU astronomy professor Eric Byrne says the biggest issue has been the plumbing.
What's made the news has been some of the issues with the space toilet, which is something they have to work out and make sure that they can use routinely and safely.
Splashdown is scheduled for Friday night just off the coast of San Diego. A new report from LendingTree finds that just under 20% of Louisiana businesses fail within year one, but that's actually the third lowest percentage in the nation. Chief Consumer Financial Analyst Matt Scholl says the failure rate in Louisiana jumps to 47% after 5 years.
It's not the highest income state, so that means maybe less to invest in starting a small business and less consumer spending to take advantage of.
Louisiana Radio Network.
Tired of that same plumbing issue? Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling. Plumbing problems, large or small, Southern Air will fix them all. And you'll get service with no delay from certified technicians the very same day. Take advantage of our $99 drain clearing special and our 0% financing for those larger jobs. Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling at 318-777-5555 or visit us online at southernairnow.com. The official heating and cooling provider for LSU football.
So if you're hoping for rain, it's going to be a while. Good morning. Our forecast calling for a mixture of sunshine and clouds today. It's going to be nice. 82 for the afternoon high. An east-southeast breeze at about 5 to 10 today. Tonight, clear skies down to 56. And then for Thursday, again, mixture of sunshine and clouds Afternoon highs 81. No rain in the forecast as of right now until well into next week. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
All right, welcome back, everyone, for hour number 2 of Talkback here on your Wednesday morning. I'm Al Quartermont, along with Stephen Maxwell, and very pleased to be joined in the studio by a couple of great guests with us here today to talk about a cool event, which is coming up 2 weeks from Friday. That's April 24th. That is the Bolton High School Alumni Association's 3rd annual Hall of Fame induction. And joining us now from the Bolton High School Alumni Association are Allie Page Nolan and also current Hall of Famer Warren Morris. Good morning. How are you all doing?
Good morning, Al. How are you?
Good. Just had to get all that information.
I know, it is a mouthful.
So let me start, Allie. Why did the Alumni Association for Bolton High School decide to do this Hall of Fame, which now this is the 3rd year for it?
Sure. So, and this has always kind of been in the works. We've tried with the in the Alumni Association to try to bring together or create an event that all our alumni can come to. And so over the years, we've dabbled with different things, but I can't remember who it was, but someone had the idea to let's put together a Hall of Fame. We have so many legendary Bolton Bears, and let's go ahead and start recognizing them and create an event that we can celebrate and honor and get our Bears together. So about 3.5 years ago, or 4.5 years ago, we started the process of creating the Hall of Fame, the criteria, and how we wanted the event to play out. And like you said, this is our 3rd year. It is, I'll let Warren talk about it too. It is such an amazing event. We, Bears from multiple generations are there. I think Ed Kaplan might be our oldest Bear. We were joking about that last night. Don't want to say what class he's in, but one of our older Bears to some of our newer Bears end up showing up to our event. And it's just a great time to reconnect and celebrate the legacy and tradition and just awesomeness of Bolton High School.
Yeah, because when I look at your class for this year, 6 people that are going in, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, wow, if these guys are going in on the 3rd year, to have had 12 other names before them tells you the quality of alumni that you have.
Oh, exactly. And Warren is our 2024 class, 1st year inductee. That year, we had several awesome inductees. Ed Kaplan, Jay Boland. One of my personal favorites was Justice Kitty Kimball. She was the first female Supreme Court justice in Louisiana. So, I mean, as a young female lawyer, how cool is that? Yeah. To follow in her footsteps one day. Jock Scott was our 1st year.
Unbelievable group. I don't know. They threw me in somehow because I didn't have the qualifications as the others. But, you talk about a school that's just been so big in Alexandria for over 100 years and, just so many people that walked those halls and went on to just tremendous things. I think it's really neat that now we're doing this Hall of Fame and being able to honor these people. And, it celebrates the school as well, which, we're talking like the school's not there anymore. It's still going strong, Bolton Academy. But yeah, looking forward to having a new group come in. It's going to be exciting.
What was it like for you when you got to go in that 1st year?
Well, it was a thrill, just an honor. I'd never been inducted into any kind of Hall of Fame and, let alone, especially for me who grew up, my dad used to be a basketball coach at Bolton High School. So I can remember walking those halls when I was 5, 6 years old and, just thinking this 3-story building has got to be like the biggest place I've ever seen in my life. And walking in that gym and there's still banners with his name on it from, back in the 60s and 70s. So just really special. I wish, he's passed away. I wish he would have been able to be there to see that. I know he'd have had a lot of pride just being, he was at Bolton for almost 20 years. So that was special to me. And, my daughters got to come and watch and my wife and be there for that. So it was a great event and first class in every way. And, we're looking forward to doing that again with this group. And I know it'll be special for them as well.
Rumor has it you were a pretty good hooper back in the day.
Well, that's funny. Most people just think of me as baseball, which is fine. But, basketball was my first love. So, my dad, like I said, was a basketball coach. My brother played, college basketball. So that was my dream. That's what I wanted to do. If you'd asked me in second, third grade, I didn't even start playing baseball till I was like 9 or 10 years old, which still young. But, you think about nowadays, kids play at like 4 or 5. Yeah. I never played t-ball or any of that just because, hey, basketball was what I was going to be. But yeah, played basketball all the way through 12th grade and wouldn't trade those memories for anything.
They're signing NIL contracts at 5.
Jeez.
I know. Where was all that NIL money when in the 90s?
Speaking of which, Warren was drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates and ended up, were you third in the Rookie of the Year voting that year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they have a rookie this year, Connor Griffin, who's 19 years old, and they just added an extension for him. He's getting 9 years, $140 million at 19 years old as a shortstop.
Yeah, and he was an LSU commit, I believe. So
You're right, that's right.
That's a lot of money. That's more than he could get in an NIL deal. But that's crazy. But the Pirates right now, it's good times. Paul Skeens, is there, and then we've got rookies like this. So it's neat to see my old team putting together some new faces that are doing really well.
Man, I think you would have had a lot bigger contract if you would have played in these days. But
if only.
Yeah, if only. Right, exactly. Well, let's talk about this Bolton third annual Hall of Fame induction field and tell us a little bit about each of the people. Let me start first with, is it Bill Bowden?
Bill Bowden. General Bill Bowden is his career is military.
Mm-hmm.
He graduated from LSU, served in the Marine Corps for over 30 years. What's really cool about him is he flew. His thing was aviation. So flew several MC Premier tactical aircraft, including A-4 Skyhawk, F-4 Phantom, and F/A-18 Hornet. I wish I knew more about that, but sounds really cool.
Sounds really very cool.
And made it through the ranks of commander, brigadier general, major general, and then ended up being commander of the Marine Corps Air Bases West and commanding general of the Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton, California.
Wow.
Retired from the military and ended up going to work at LSU. Became the president and CEO of LSU Foundation and was key in their Forever LSU campaign. I remember being at LSU when that was big.
Okay.
Board of directors of the cadets of the Old War Skull, LSU Alumni Association, and TAF. And he's been inducted to the LSU Hall of Fame with distinction and the Cadets of Old War Skull Hall of Fame. So legendary military career. And what's really cool is that as the chair, I've gotten to speak with all these guys, except for Ned and Buddy. But they just such a neat man. Super nice. I'm so excited to meet him in person when we do the Hall of Fame. But his career is just really cool. Military career, just through the roof.
That does sound amazing. Jeff Carbo.
Jeff, I love Jeff. Jeff is actually a dear friend of my family's. His wife was my first grade teacher and my sister's kindergarten teacher. So we've known the Carbos for a very long time. But Jeff's career is landscape architect. He's just so noted throughout the state and the country for his beautiful designs and landscapes that he's done. LSU grad, big into the Robert Wright School of Landscape Architect. He and his family have actually started a campaign to recruit landscape architect students into the LSU program. So he's big into that. But what I love most about Jeff is his philanthropy. He and Wendy have created I want to call it a foundation, but it's the Jeff and Wendy Carbo Good Works. And so what they're doing is they're providing pro bono services, architecture designs to nonprofits. So their work is being done here in Alexandria. They've done the Manna House. I know they've done some work with Prompt Sucker. They're doing some work with Menard. Just he is giving back, and he's giving back locally. And I just think that's so great.
All that revamp they're doing at Menard, that's him. So,
Yes.
I
That
figured
is.
he went to Menard, so that's cool. Yeah.
I think some of his siblings might have, but Jeff is a Bear. He is a Bolton Bear, blue and white, true and true.
Is that his brother that was with Governor Edwards as a
I don't know.
spokesperson?
I was
That's his
wondering.
nephew, Richard.
Okay.
I think that's the relation.
Okay.
But yeah.
He's a lot younger, Richard Carbo.
Yeah. All right. Dick Clayton.
Dick Clayton, another super neat guy. I've gotten the chance to speak with him on several occasions and just can't wait to meet him in person. He's just such a neat guy. But going through his biography, he has been so instrumental in the anti-drug campaign. So his background, his degrees are all in sociology. Ended up getting a professorship at University of Kentucky. And during that time, starting in the 70s and then to the 2000s, he has been instrumental in the anti-drug campaign, doing multiple studies, going abroad, really trying to do the research. Starting back then, when I'm a little young for that, but wasn't born in the 70s, but just starting to recognize that was a problem back then. And he has been so instrumental in bringing that to the forefront and has been recognized nationwide and globally for those efforts. So really cool guy, just really neat career in trying to help people.
Yeah, that is awesome. Tell you what, we need to take a quick break. When we come back, we want to run down the other three inductees, two of whom are not with us anymore, but one who very much is.
He very much is.
So we'll be right back with that.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
If you've ever wanted to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself, and didn't know where to start, Janney King Gulf Coast has already built the foundation for you. With guaranteed initial customers, hands-on training, and ongoing local support, you'll never feel like you're doing it alone, because you won't be. For over 35 years, we've helped people turn their dreams into real successful businesses. Take the next step. Discover a business built for you at JaneyKingCleans.com.
Janney King, the king of clean.
Hey, it's me, Gus the Gopher for Atlas Energy. I dig all around the yard. Occasionally, I bump into a utility line and get a headache. But if you hit one with your shovel, backhoe, or ditch digger, you could cause a gas leak, disrupt service, or worse. So call 811 at least 3 business days before you or someone else digs in your yard to have those underground utility-owned lines marked. It's free and it's the law. You dig what I'm saying? For more on safe digging, visit atmosenergy.com/811.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, welcome back. Our guests, Allie Page Nowlin and Warren Morse with the Bolton High School Alumni Association. We're talking about the Hall of Fame induction, 3rd annual, coming up on Friday, April 24th. Event that'll start at 6 o'clock with cocktails, dinner at 7:30. It'll be at the Holiday Inn downtown. We'll tell you how to get tickets in just a moment. But we've been talking about the class that's going in. So far, we've talked about Bill Bowden, Jeff Carbo, and Dick Clayton. And let's talk about the final 3. I want to start with Lynn Rollins.
I might let Warren talk about Lynn a little bit too. I'll introduce him, but I'll let Warren give a little spill on Lynn. I don't really know what Lynn is. Just the coolest dude ever. If you follow our Facebook page, and if you don't, please go like it and follow it. We are doing little pieces on all our honorees, and Lynn wanted to use this caricature, and it is the neatest thing ever. And that just kind of tells you about Lynn. He is just super nice, super cool, and just had this amazing career in sports broadcasting. I mean, he started out here, KSYL, and has now made it to the big times with LSU. It's funny, I didn't realize Lynn went to Bolton, and when someone told me he did, my mouth dropped. I was like, wait, the voice of LSU baseball is a Bolton Bear? Just legendary. I mean, he is just and then his Rollinisms.
Yeah.
I might let Warren talk about those, but you just don't get anybody neater or cooler than Lynn Rollins. He is just. That is what I want to listen to when I listen to an LSU baseball game.
He's unique for sure. I mean, I know whenever you tune into an LSU game and you hear Lynn on there, you're in for a good entertaining time as well as, I mean, he's great at what he does. But yeah, just the Lynnisms, like it's hotter than a fire ant on a fever blister and, those type of things. I've known him for a long time, and it's really cool to see how, he a lot of times in his broadcast, he'll bring up something around Alexandria and just to kind of highlight the area. Cause I mean, he grew up here and, I don't think he lives in Louisiana anymore, but he's Louisiana through and through, Central Louisiana. I mean, I don't know if I've ever talked to him where he didn't bring up something special about my dad, who was his coach at Bolton, and just, he loves the school. So he was the perfect person to go in.
Oh, 100%. And what's also cool is that he's had a career. We were talking about that earlier, Al. He did marketing and PR for LC and Cabrini Hospital. I mean, his career has spanned more than just broadcasting. He's done journalism and PR and marketing. So it's a very well-rounded career.
And a former Talkback host.
Exactly. Yeah.
At one point. Yeah.
When was that?
I'm not sure, but I know there were times the first time I worked here that he would fill in once in a while.
It's gone downhill since then.
He always made it clear. He's like, I don't want to talk. I don't like politics. I don't want to talk about politics. I'm like, all right.
You're on the wrong show.
We never talk about that on this show. But no, he's such a gentleman. So that's a great honor. Good for him. Happy for him. Now, our last two are people that have passed away, so they obviously won't be there, but I know it would be a big honor for their families. Let's talk about Buddy Tudor first.
Oh, sure. Buddy, I mean, wow, just the legacy of Tudor construction. I didn't realize that Buddy, and going through their biographies, Buddy was actually a third generation partner in Tudor construction. So there were two previous generations in Tudor construction. So that shows you how long their family has been in Alexandria and doing projects, developing tons of the buildings we see today. Tudor Construction is responsible.
She's got her list.
Yeah, because it was so many.
I mean, a big impact at LC too.
Exactly. They did Gwynn Auditorium, Tudor Hall in Pineville, but they're responsible for the mall, the Coliseum, Clico headquarters, several churches, Rapides Women's and Children's Hospital. I mean, they have created the landscape of Central Louisiana.
Wow, what a good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, they've touched or been a part of almost every building here in town.
Yeah, and Buddy was a great athlete too.
Yeah,
and both his sons played college basketball. It's a great family, and I know both his sons are basically synonymous with Pineville High School, and I didn't realize until kind of this all came up. Like, well, Buddy. He was a Bolton Bear, so just excited for the family. I know they're all coming to the event, so it's going to be great.
Yes, we're going to have a lot of Tudors in the building that night. So
very cool. And then the last one, a gentleman that I got to work with for a time, and just a gentleman among a profession that sometimes not so much. But Ned Randolph, the former mayor of Alexandria.
Again, what can you say? I mean, I had the opportunity to meet Ned, as a younger person, and it's very fitting that we induct him now. I mean, he just prince of a man, and going through his biography and what he did for Alexandria, I mean, he provided some stability after a time when there wasn't,
right.
And just brought a certain class in civility to our politics in our town. So, and I know Deborah comes on a lot, so next time she comes on, maybe ask her if she comes on before the Hall of Fame. But I believe Deborah's going to accept the award on his behalf. And just what an amazing career they both had. Just so instrumental in Alexandria and bringing good things to our community.
Yeah. I know that she'll be very honored.
Oh, I've spoken with her. She's excited. So, and it's very befitting. And Ned was, I believe he played basketball. Did I have that right? I think so. Okay. But his political career was a state rep, a state senator, and then mayor of Alexandria. But he had an amazing career and just brought a lot of pride to Alexandria. Yeah. So we're excited to induct him and all of our guys into this year's Hall of Fame.
What a great class.
It is a great class.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And all of them have left their mark, in lots of different ways. And, there's no way I think you could look at any of these and say, why is he going in? Like it's clear that these guys just really, to use a baseball phrase, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, very good. All right. Speaking of Halls of Fame, we have a pretty good one here in Louisiana as well, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, and they have a class of 2026. And guess who's going in this year? Warren.
All right.
Hey, did you know that?
I did know that.
Okay, all right. I know Warren tends to be very understated about himself, so I didn't know if you had known that, but congratulations.
Well, thank you. No, that's an awesome honor too. Looking forward to that. That'll be in June. So yeah, it's really neat how they tell you, a good 10 months before. So just the lead up to it is great because I've had just countless people tell me, congratulations. So I'm excited. So thank you for that.
And if people have never gone, the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is amazing to visit. Just to see the names from Louisiana that have impacted the sports world, it's incredible how many athletes have come from here or played through here, whether it was at LSU or the Saints or other professional or college teams.
Yeah, it is. You just look at geographically the size of our state, but then you look at the footprint of the great athletes throughout the ages that have come through here or were born here. It's a great Hall of Fame, and it's a unique building there in Natchitoches. It's worth going to check out, even if you're just kind of a sort of sports fan, because they do a great job. And, I think it's cool that they want my stuff in there. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Hey, how they put Todd Walker in there before you got in?
He was pretty good.
Yeah, he wasn't too bad. LSU's had a few good baseball players over the years. So, all right. Well, Allie, before we let you guys go, tell people how they can get tickets.
So, if you are on Facebook, please visit our Facebook page because there's several links that or posts that you can click on the link. But the link is boltonalumni.org. /win fame. And you can purchase tickets. You can purchase a table, which is a lot of people are doing that. You want to go with a group of friends. Mm-hmm. So grab a table or grab some individual tickets and come on down April 24th. Sponsorships are still available. So if you want to sponsor, if you're a local business and would love to sponsor, we'd love to have you. But if not, just come on, get a table, get a ticket, and we will see you on April 24th.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for coming in and visiting with us today. And
thank you for having us.
Yeah, definitely.
Should be a great night again, April 24th. Our guests, Allie Page Nolan and Warren Morse, thank you all for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. More coming up on Talkback.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Stock futures are absolutely skyrocketing on word of the U.S.-Iran ceasefire as investors kind of ignore the fact that there are still some reports of attacks and fighting in some places in the Mideast. Crude oil futures are plunging. Bitcoin and gold gaining substantially. Also on the positive side, jeans maker Levi Strauss boosting its projections for the year. Hormone therapy patches for women are in crazy high demand, resulting in shortages. And now FDA officials, we're told, are working to make vaginal cream estrogen available over the counter as celebrities like Gwyneth Paltrow, Halle Berry, and Naomi Watts destigmatize perimenopause symptoms. And how will we entertain ourselves in the future? Wall Street Journal says some predict a shift towards staying home for entertainment, with home screens, virtual card and board games, and virtual reality and fantasy experiences replacing things like movie theaters. Others see a future with robots performing at home, or even brain implants giving auditory and visual stimulation. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Cenla's best at Bricato's Restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt-in-your-mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricato's Restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
All right, it's tax season, and by now we're all a bit tired of all the numbers, but here's an important one that you need to hear. $16 billion, because that's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud. But it's not all grim news. LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. They will alert you to threats that you would easily miss on your own. If your identity is stolen, they will fix it, guaranteed. Save 40% off your first year. Promo code Hannity when you go to LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
So if you're hoping for rain, it's going to be a while. Good morning. Our forecast calling for a mixture of sunshine and clouds today. It's going to be nice. 82 for the afternoon high. An east-southeast breeze at about 5 to 10 today. Tonight, clear skies down to 56. And then for Thursday, again, mixture of sunshine and clouds. Afternoon highs 81. No rain in the forecast as of right now until well into next week. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we're back with you. Alan Stephen will be open line the rest of the way at 318-442-8255 on the BUM Bank Talk Line. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. Appreciate you playing all that stuff from the Frank Turek presentation last night. I really liked what he said about politics. I wasn't feeling very well, so I had to leave early, but I'm glad you played that part at the end where he talked about the importance of politics. You know, politics is the public thing. And any idea, any inkling, any nudge to remove your religion from politics comes from the left. It's always from the left because they don't want thinking people whose minds are expanded and open to deal with them. They want people who will follow. And so I appreciated his comments on that. And Trump did something yesterday or started the ball rolling on something yesterday I just think is ingenious. And I understand he's focusing mainly on China, and I think that's wise and good and necessary. But back on the immigration front, from what the reports I heard yesterday, he instructed the director of the Department of Homeland Security, to begin looking at what it would take to remove the immigration officers from sanctuary cities and states, meaning you couldn't fly in to a sanctuary city or state. You couldn't land at a port. You couldn't enter the country in one of those states. And I thought that would go so far, and it's so brilliant because that is totally within the purview of the executive office. And so he's not overstepping any ground. He's not doing anything unconstitutional. He's just fulfilling his constitutional role to protect us from the illegal alien problem through a system that the Democrats have set up and have been abusing. So anyways, I don't know if you heard about that, but I hope something will come of it soon. We'll see. They just started the ball rolling on it yesterday from what I understand, but of course it was, overshadowed by the war. But anyways, thanks for letting me speak my piece, and thanks again for playing all those clips from the Frank Turek presentation. Y'all have a great day.
All right. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. So, yeah, it feels like President Trump, in a lot of ways, is trying to think ahead of the game. You're going back to what he was talking about with Frank Turek. One of the things that he talked about was the importance of logic. And he asked, how many of you had a logic class while you were in school? Not many hands came up, except the ones that were. He goes, oh, you're all the homeschoolers. And they actually was.
Wow.
But he said that when we don't use logic in terms of our decision-making processes, what we typically resort to is just emotion, making decisions simply on emotion. And when you look at a lot of the landscape of our country right now, don't you see where that is the case? Most people react to things emotionally, not so much logically or rationally. Even like with what's going on with the war, logically, you got to think through it. Okay, why are we doing this? What's the purpose? What's the potential outcome? And realizing that with that will always come A, sacrifices, and then B, unfortunate tragedies. But what comes out on the other side of it? What we've really seen the last couple of weeks has been everything in the reporting about this story of Iran has been, but the oil prices are going up and you're paying more at the pump. It's like, all that's doing is triggering people's emotions to think of the issue emotionally. And again, I talk about this all the time in class. The way stories are framed by the media, to me, are a lot of times designed to trigger your emotions, not really so much to teach you about something and give you information that you need to know that's vitally important about what's really going on in the world or in your community. It just seems like it's always emotional triggers. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean that's what gets clicks, right?
Yeah, true. And
but we always hear the media spins it, and the media isn't reporting the whole truth. But then everyone who says that has the whole truth. So where are you getting it from? Like, it's there, it's available.
Yeah.
And I just don't think people, like I've said time and time again, people don't care about mainstream media that much anymore.
No, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't take the time to search things out and investigate. They just, you kind of, I saw something about that on Facebook, or, I heard about it just briefly from so-and-so. And I think part of it too is people feel like, where do I go? What is the trusted source?
I'm a news reporter. I would say I'm a news junkie, as they would say. But my algorithm is almost zero news now. Like, it just takes you out of it sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
It just thinks it tells you what you think you want to see. And I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. No, there's no more Cowboy stuff on my timeline anymore. Like, it just always changes, and unless you're, like you said, actively searching for it. But most people, I don't think a lot of Americans really paying attention to what's happening in Iran, or quite frankly really care.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's good.
I think you're right. They do care about how much they're paying for gas.
So we're all commenting when we're not having, maybe nukes aimed at us because we're in the most powerful country in the world.
And a lot of the comments I saw on Twitter last night, on X, a lot of the Iranian people were like, please don't forget about us. And they're more worried that during this 2-week ceasefire, that it's really just going to give time for the regime to carry out more atrocities against the Iranian people. And I pray that's not the case, but they're living in a whole different reality about this than we are. So just keep them in your prayers.
And I will say, like, when we say to try and think logically, I can come to my own conclusions, but there's so many different thoughts and conspiracies and about what's actually happening. And it's been kind of mixed messages from the top too, which is generally how these things happen.
True.
Because wars, is difficult. Or conflicts are difficult. I don't know if we call it a war yet. But it's not as easy to really think through it logically if we don't really know what's going on half the time. It's difficult.
All right, we need to take a break. More talk back coming up.
KSYL.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with the clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The clinic's on North Dalton, 445-9823, and online at theclinics.us.
Some smiles sound like this, while others sound this way. If you'd like to improve the way your smile sounds, the folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville can deliver. Over the years, hundreds of Central Louisiana patients have visited Today's Dental and then left completely satisfied. Their dental implant procedure is amazingly simple, low anxiety, and completely affordable. Today's technology makes your beautiful smile easier than ever. The staff at Today's Dental go out of their way to make you comfortable with calming in-office IV sedation that's administered by a highly skilled certified nurse anesthetist. And their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Want your smile to sound better? Give Today's Dental a call at 318-448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. That's 318-448-4540.
From America's #1 travel radio show, I'm Robert Carey.
And I'm Mary Carey with today's RM World Travel Minute.
All right, today is day 3 of the big Let's Go America Tour Park City. So hello from this premier mountain destination.
This week, we've been sharing some of our experiences across our @RM World Travel social media channels. And if you've been following our trip, well, you already know how much we're enjoying Utah.
We've enjoyed the Great Salt Lake and visited the Family Search Library in Salt Lake City. We've taken some invigorating mountain walks, visited Utah Olympic Park and Park City, and more.
And in addition to the Olympic Park, Park City is also home to 2 major ski resorts, Park City Mountain and Deer Valley resorts. But we've discovered there's a lot to do here in the spring and summer as well, from fishing to mountain biking. Even some of the winter activities like bobsledding are tailored for summer fun.
Hear all about it on our live national broadcast of the 2-hour weekend version of this show from Hilton Sunrise Lodge this Saturday. It's going to air from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Time across the USA to our nearly 620 weekly stations.
We'll share more tomorrow, and be sure to tune in this Saturday. Happy travels.
I agree with that, Mary. More tomorrow, folks.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
One of the first things I would do, I believe we need a division on this campus, a division of diversity, equity, and inclusion with leadership that goes all the way to the top with a full staff because our issues are so great. They are.
All right. Welcome back on Talkback. Alan Stephen on a Wednesday. That clip has been going around a little bit on social media. It's from current Congresswoman Julia Letlow back when she was interviewing for the job as university president at UL Monroe and talked about the need for having a DEI office. That clip has resurfaced in part because the Senator Cassidy campaign has seized on it, as we're seeing some really interesting dynamics that are going on in that Senate race right now when you talk about between Julia Letlow, Bill Cassidy, and John Fleming. So you've had Cassidy going after Fleming. You also have Fleming going after Cassidy. But now Fleming in the equation is getting attacked quite a bit by the current governor. So, and all the PACs that come with that. So we can talk more about that in a moment, but right now we have another call coming in. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Monday, I went to the neighborhood Walmart, filled up my truck, and it was $3.58 a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and did a little research. April 2023, the average price was between $3.63 and $3.68. So it's more emotional about the prices because Trump had done so much good. The media can't allow that. If you'll think back, maybe a month and a half ago, you were paying in the $2 range, $2.25, $2.30. So look at everything as factual. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. No, perspective is important for sure.
I mean, that's just plain numbers, though. The prices are up, they're up.
Yeah,
This
no,
was not emotional.
Yeah, 100%. But
I'm just kind of tired. Like and I get it and I understand. Trust me, but I'm just tired of like the Trump is treated unfairly narrative. The dude's won twice. He's been president of the United States
maybe
twice.
3 times actually.
Yeah, unsuccessive terms, which has happened once before that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's kind of mainstream at this point, and I think he represents. Maybe not to the extreme of how he represents himself, but I think that's kind of how a lot of Americans feel. And I think that's the trend it's going in, like that kind of politics. So I just don't have a lot of sympathy for he's treated unfairly. Maybe at the beginning, 100%.
No, I still think what we would call the traditional mainstream outlets, I don't think there's an even hand there with a lot of the coverage.
Exactly. Who cares?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think that's even mainstream anymore.
Yeah.
That's just my
true.
my thought process.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get my news from podcasters. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I worked for traditional media.
Yeah.
For my whole career.
All right. So going back to what's going on with the Senate right now. So that video of Letlow kind of was unleashed late last week. And Cassidy had released a press release with it, continuing kind of the narrative that they've tried to develop, liberal Letlow, right, with that PAC that has called her that on some of those commercials. Also, we have John Fleming responded to the video. He said,
The civil authorities have issued a child abduction emergency for all of Louisiana beginning at 8:48 a.m. and ending at 1:48 p.m. The Louisiana State Police has issued an Amber Alert on behalf of the Baton Rouge Police Department for Rian Castellanos, who was believed to have been abducted by an unidentified black male. He was abducted at approximately 7 a.m. from 4650 Airline Highway in Baton Rouge. Castellanos is a 1-year-old Hispanic male with black curly hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a brown sweater and khaki pajama pants. The suspect reportedly stole the mother's vehicle from a local gas station and fled with the child in the back seat. He was last seen wearing all black clothing and brown boots. He is believed to be armed. The suspect and Castellanos are believed to be traveling in a gray 2013 Toyota Tundra bearing Louisiana license plate C3727710. Anyone with information regarding their whereabouts is asked to immediately contact the Baton Rouge Police Department at 225-389-2000 or dial 911.
all right. Boy, wow. So if you were just tuning into that, an Amber Alert issued for an apparent child abduction from East Baton Rouge. Sounds like the person stole the vehicle with the 1-year-old in it. And so now they're trying to find that vehicle. Gosh, that's horrible.
Those are the stories that just tear your heart out. And
yeah.
Maybe, I'm not going to say this is what happened, but when you leave a kid in the car these days,
I know.
I know, I get it, but it's tough. It's not worth the risk, probably.
Yeah. I saw a clip of a story yesterday from, I can't remember what state it was, but it was basically a FedEx driver who had abducted, I think, an 8-year-old girl. And he said that he killed her because he had accidentally hit her with his truck and he panicked and then took her. But there's camera video of the truck, inside the truck, with her standing like right behind him. So she was fine. And then the prosecutor said, you're going to hear audio, because he turned the camera off, but you could still hear the audio of sounds of what happens when you have a 250-pound man and a 50-year-old girl that you would never want to hear in your life. And it just sends chills through me, you know. And that's a death penalty case. And I sure hope he gets it. Just horrible.
And I'm thankful for the technology in these situations.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a call, but they just dropped. So we'll take a break and come back with more.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. The world once needed lots of paper made right here in central Louisiana. Now we're making a comeback with clean methanol.
Beaver Lake Renewable Energy will turn Louisiana wood into fuel, creating hundreds of direct and indirect jobs and giving loggers a steady market again. It's not just a plant, it's a promise to our land, our people, and our future. Visit beaverlakerenewable.com and find out how we're putting Central Louisiana back on the map.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for takeoff.
United Express flights to Houston are taking off in May from Alexandria International Airport. Reservations are now open for twice daily flights operated by SkyWest Airlines. Skip the drive. With nonstop service to Houston, you're one step closer to nearly 200 destinations worldwide. And if you're a United Mileage Plus loyalty member, you can earn miles for your flights.
Houston, we have liftoff.
Book now at flyaex.org/united. Reunited. And we're so excited.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices. To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talk Back.
All right, welcome back, everyone, on our Wednesday morning. Al and Stephen with you today, and it'll be Nathan and Stephen coming up tomorrow. So we were talking a little bit about the Senate race and what's going on right now. Tyler Bridges from The Advocate did a story the other day about how now you have two outside groups attacking John Fleming, and it seems like the people behind Letlow, and especially the governor, seem a little nervous about the momentum that John Fleming has been getting. So while you've had Cassidy and Letlow going back and forth with each other, Fleming, I think, has kind of benefited from that, but now he's seeing attack ads that accuse him of not being conservative enough, and all of that.
So is the whole beef between the governor and Fleming, is it just over CCS? Because I'm sure everything else would be fine, right? It's got to be just over that.
It's a good question. That is a really good question. Fleming
worked for the Trump administration.
Right. I mean, obviously Landry was able to influence President Trump to endorse Letlow for this race.
I know, but the difference, I guess that maybe they think that Letlow has the best chance of beating Cassidy. Is that what it is? The Cassidy's on board with everything Trump almost does now. Well. But who knows? It's interesting.
I know it has been a very interesting race, and the likelihood we'll have a runoff, but it's a matter of which two are going to get in. And then you'll really see the attacks start. But right now it seems like, I don't know if Cassidy's trying to specifically go more for Fleming because he feels like he can get more votes than she can to get him into a runoff. I mean, I don't know. It's just a crazy scenario. All right, let's go back to the phones this morning. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
The most important thing is that everybody gets out and vote. Everybody's got an opinion, so you just need to get out and vote, and the chips will fall where they may, and then we'll have to deal with it in the runoff. So, but I really do enjoy your show each and every day. And talking about something that's positive, we've got a hiring event going on at JCPenney's next 3 days for the entire store, different positions, as well as the styling salon.
Okay.
So really appreciate the community involvement and the things that we've done over the past year or so. So looking forward to continued success after, we've been in business since 1902. So really appreciate Alexandria, Pineville, Sinlaw supporting us, and especially KSYL and all what y'all do is supporting Central Louisiana. Enjoy the show. Y'all been on a long time, and keep it going, guys. Y'all do a great job. Thank you so much.
So for people listening, when do you have the hiring fair going on?
It's today from 11 to 4, tomorrow 11 to 4, and Friday 11 to 4.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So we will take care of them if they come in to see us. So thank y'all again. Appreciate it.
Sir. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Good to know. Jobs are out there. Just get out and grab one.
Get to work.
Somebody texted me saying that apparently it goes a little bit back with Fleming and Landry, because when they were both in Congress together, it was Fleming that was part of the founding of the House Freedom Caucus, and Landry not so much.
Maybe so. Maybe so. You know, we were talking about like getting involved in politics, and you know, as Christians, you should get involved, or whoever you are, you should get involved. Man, being one, it's got to be exhausting. It's got to be exhausting.
Yeah, and I saw that Trish Lala, our former co-host here, had penned an article on LinkedIn, and it was about why good people don't tend to get into politics anymore. And she kind of related it to her own experience that she had. I'm trying to see. Oh, yeah. She posted on Facebook, I published an article on LinkedIn about something I've been sitting with for a long time, the hidden cost, what happens when people who genuinely want to serve step into the political arena. The response that hit me hardest came from a friend in our community who said she had thought about running for local office. She's qualified, she cares deeply. But after reading what I wrote, she said that the toll it could take on her family is ultimately what pushes her to say no. That broke my heart a little because we need people exactly like her. I wrote this piece because I lived it and because I think we owe it to the people who are willing to step forward to finally have an honest conversation about what you're asking of them. If you've ever thought about running, know someone who has, or simply care about the quality of leadership in our communities, I think this will resonate with you. And again, you can find that in LinkedIn.
It was good. And I think a lot of the problem is too, is you got, you know, let's say, because we were talking about it, Christian politicians who go in for the right reasons, want to make a difference, but then you get into the mix of it, and the threat of losing your worldly power and influence overshadows a lot of things and make you make some decisions that might not be beneficial.
Bringing it full circle for the show, because last night Turek said the three things that are most corrupting in the world are money, power, and sex. Money, power, and sex. And you find all of those things in politics these days, don't you?
Put that camel through the eye of the needle.
Yes, sir. So, all right, everyone. Thank you for all the great calls today. Thank you again to Warren Morris and Allie Page Nolan for stopping in. And I'll see you again on Friday. It'll be Nathan and Steven tomorrow. Have a great day.